where like the loser had to like dunk their head in cockroaches. All you could see was the butt of the cockroach. My dad's in a David Dobrik video? I did put a tortoise into the box that Snoop Dogg did the What's in the Box in. Yo, what's going on, people? It is me, Noah, back again with another podcast. I know I don't have a studio yet. I'm just kind of hanging out in my home in a chair that we got for like $20. We actually got a pair of them for 20 bucks. It was a pretty good deal on Facebook. You guys liked the last episode that was kind of like memories with my dad, about my dad. Obviously, he has passed away January, it was the 14th, I believe, January 2024. So a bit over a year. Maybe we can get into like kind of how I'm feeling about that and kind of how life's been since that on another episode. Let me know if you would like to see that. And maybe hear about it, because it has been a challenge. It has been tough, but bringing up some of these, funny memories, the good times, the just cool, amazing adventures that we had for, nearly 7 years, that's something that's special. Sorry, this cat, every time I film an episode, the cat just loves to come over here and just be crazy. So I wanted to start with very, very early on into graduating high school and then inevitably working with my dad. My dad used to travel a lot. In the beginning of the vlog, first maybe 2 to 3 years of the vlog, lots of traveling, lots of collaborations, whether it was Florida, going around. Usually Florida trips were very animal based and reptile based and all those fun collabs. But what was really cool to me was I was a big YouTube head. I still love YouTube, but back then I just consumed so much ever since childhood. And my dad was collaborating with these people that I have watched like my entire life, especially into childhood. I'm talking about the Dudesons, which we'll get into a story about them coming up. Good Mythical Morning. I mean, my dad collabed Good Mythical freaking Morning, dude. Like, I used to eat up Good Mythical Morning, and it feels like every year I'll go through a little Good Mythical Morning phase where I'm like binging a bunch of videos. And every time I'm just like, man, my dad collaborated with them. Again, we'll get into a story here in a minute about David Dobrik. I mean, that's a funny story. And I'll get into that in just a second. But then another one which absolutely blew my mind. Actually, I'll say a couple more. Shane Dawson, I think that was his name. It's been a while since I watched his content. He collabed with him, and then the big one for me, the big one was FaZe Clan. My dad freaking collaborated with FaZe Clan. I was there for that one a couple times. But growing up, Modern Warfare 2 is when I started watching FaZe Clan. Trick shots, you're talking about the tempered shot, you're talking about the catwalk. Come on, what do you guys know about that? But yeah, he collaborated with them. So let's get into some actual stories about all of this. Very early on, I was probably 18, I would say. So this is about 2018 to 2019. I was 18 to 19 years old, maybe even 17. We pack up. My dad's like, let's go to California and do some collaboration. So we fly to California, and I'm like, I'm gonna start vlogging too. This is all, just crazy. I'm going to California. Let me film my first vlog. So my first vlog was actually with the Dudesons.
So this is what you...
Oh, like that? Oh, no.
Pick a number that has the roaches in it.
No!
That's what we want for Noah.
I don't know if anybody, if the Dudesons are still posting or whatnot, but think of them kind of like the Jackass of YouTube. They used to just do crazy stunts. There were like a few guys, and they just used to do crazy stuff. We showed up there, had my little vlog camera, and honestly, I just asked. They were doing this and this thing with like cockroaches, where like the loser had to like dunk their head in cockroaches. Oh my God, goodness!
Oh, look at Jay! Oh my God!
And I was just like, guys, let me get signed up in this challenge. I was willing to put my head in the cockroach bin, which is actually funny. I've never connected the pieces that my first ever video was technically a head in the box. And then some of my most popular videos that I created years later were head in the box. Huh. That's actually hilarious to me. That's funny full circle. We just walk up and we ask, hey, my dad's like, my son, you know, he's starting this vlog channel. Would you mind him being involved? And they are the coolest guys ever. I mean, they were just so kind, and they were like, yeah, come on, man, join the thing. Super friendly, super welcoming, motivating. They're like, come on, let's get this done, man. This is awesome, blah, 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 blah. Like, such an amazing experience with those guys. Just absolute gems of humans. And you know, we do this little challenge thing. I got freaking lucky, and I was part of the winning group, but I didn't lose.
Guys, my heart.
3, 2, 1. No! Oh my God! Joey! Wow! Joey, you pulled it right out! Oh my God! I love this! I just shave my head so I can feel all the thousands of feet all over. All right.
Thank God for that, because we didn't think through that little head in the box challenge at all. There was no nose plugs, there was no ear plugs. And the loser, he got a cockroach in his ear.
Oh, get it out of my ears! Oh my God, hold it up. Oh wow!
It's jammed in there.
Drop him in 2 seconds.
That's my brain!
It literally went straight in his ear and just went deep. All you could see was the butt of the cockroach.
The guys, we need like actual pictures. Oh, that's a huge one!
Holy!
The other one has one. The other one has one.
And it was trying to burrow deeper. I just spit a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, it was either a chip clip or it was a clothing pin, but one or the other. We managed to get it deep enough in his ear, and we pulled the cockroach out of his ear.
Hey, come on, get me tweezers.
They're in his beard.
Hold on, let me take.
I can't hear you. They're just little.
Oh, get it out! It's going further. The other one, there's the one more. There was 2.
There was 2?
Oh, it's going further in, I can feel it! He's got it. He's got it. Pull it! It's out!
Oh my God.
Did you see? Like you had 2 in this ear. The other one was this small. It could have gone in your brain.
Hold on, stop.
There's down there.
I can feel it still. It
There's
feels
one
like
here.
they're still on me, dude.
Oh my God. And then I was talking to a vet, I think it was, a friend later on. This was like quite a few years later. And they said that happens quite often. That there is times where cockroaches, you know, someone's sleeping or whatever, and cockroach will crawl into somebody's ear. God, how terrifying to wake up to that. On that same trip, freaking got to meet FaZe Clan. And that was so huge for me. Seeing the guys, I got to meet Temper, Adapt, FaZe Rain, Tico. Tico's the freaking man, dude. One time we went out and we were at like a restaurant or whatever. I sat next to Tico and just had a real ass conversation with him. We were talking about Call of Duty. We were talking about life. I mean, just a class act man right there. I mean, he didn't know who I was. He didn't have to talk to me at all, but we were like man to man, just talking, just hanging out like some bros, and man, that's a special moment, you know. My dad always used to say, I came up with this saying because I felt it. Obviously, I'm a fan of FaZe Clan, but I want to be their friends. I don't want to be a fanboy. You know what I mean? So like, I played it cool. I didn't really just freak out, even though I was kind of just like, man, this is freaking awesome. Try to play it cool, and probably played it a pretty awkward, if I'm being honest. We helped them out with what's in the box challenges. You know what I mean? That's like, we started doing what's in the box challenges. What's in the box challenges were just big on YouTube, and I don't know if they saw my videos and they wanted to, do what's in the box with the animals too. I don't know, or maybe they just saw it on something else. But at the time, it was just a big thing, and we helped them out with that a few times. One time, I actually got to fly out by myself. My dad was locked up. Wait, he wasn't in prison or jail or anything. He was just busy at home, I guess is what I mean. But I got to fly out all the way to California and do a What's in the Box challenge with freaking Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg. I got to meet Snoop Dogg. Now, he was real busy, so I didn't really get to introduce myself or anything like that. But I did put a tortoise into the box that Snoop Dogg did the What's in the Box in. Still pretty cool that I got to see him in person, not gonna lie. That was a couple things on the California trip. Now, the David Dobrik story. We've collaborated with David Dobrik a bunch of times. I mean, nearing 10 times, I would say. Like a good 10 videos we helped him out with, which is pretty crazy because at the time, he was the biggest guy on YouTube. I mean, there really probably wasn't anyone bigger than him at the time, pulling in those views. I was watching David Dobrik before I was really involved with my dad. I'm on YouTube and I find David Dobrik and I'm like, wow, this guy's content is freaking hilarious. So I am binging these 4-minute, 20-second videos. That's how we made every video, 4 minutes, 20 seconds. And I was binging these videos. Binge. Hold up. Was that my dad? I got up, I was like shaking a little bit. I was like, my dad's in a David Dobrik video? What the heck? So I literally grab my stuff, I head downstairs, and I'm like, Dad, what the heck? Why didn't you tell me you were in David Dobrik videos? And he was kind of just like, is that cool? Is that like a cool thing? I'm like, yeah, it's a freaking awesome thing. What do you mean is that cool? And that was kind of like the start, you know what I mean? Because I knew all the popping people on YouTube, and he, at the end of the day, he's a little bit older, he's got businesses and so on. So it's hard for him to keep up on necessarily the pop culture of YouTube at the time. And that's kind of, one of the things that started us working together, because it was like, we got to go to Playlist Live. We're meeting all these people. I'm like, Dad, holy crap, we got to go over there. And then same thing. I'm just like, standing there, don't even say a word, but my dad's talking to them and like networking with them. I'm just watching. I'm just like, but inside I'm actually like freaking out. I remember... This one's embarrassing. You guys know the Juke Squad. We were in Playlist Live and I'm walking, my dad and I are walking, I see Juke Squad. I've watched them for years. I literally am like, Juke Squad! And he turns around and he's like, what's up? But we were in a creator area. So stuff like that wasn't really supposed to happen, but funny stuff. But back to David Dobrik. So we're collaborating with him, and one of the craziest things we ever did was we brought a baby bear, to film with them. And we did like a surprise thing, people blindfolded, and then we put a baby bear on their lap. And yeah, we did baby bears, we did kangaroos, alligators, snakes, obviously, all a big alligator too. Man, it's just, we did so much cool stuff. And it's nice talking about these memories, but it's also, it's difficult. It's because, it's over. There is no more. There's no more. No mas. And that stings. It stings. I love looking back at these memories, and as I'm talking, more are coming up, and I'm just spitting them out, and it makes me feel good because I remember them, and it's able to relive the moment, but it breaks my heart right now because there's no more new ones. And I know if my dad was here, then there would be plenty of new ones. That's difficult. And I think an episode I want to do is, how difficult it was for me to become a father just about not even 2 months after losing my father. That's difficult. And, you know, that might be an important, valuable podcast to do. But, yeah, so that's a little bit how I'm feeling right now. But back to, I got a couple more memories here involving California trips. This is kind of more of like a California episode. We went quite a bit, but this is probably, this is months later, maybe between, 4-ish months to a year later. We go back, and now my channel's, pretty established. I'm posting regularly, and I got into ghost content in like the beginning. I used to watch Sam and Colby all the time. My dad collaborated with them too, of course. I wasn't involved in that, but I was watching a lot of Sam and Colby, and they were doing a lot of like ghost content and so on. And so we go to California. I'm like, Dad, we got to go to the Queen Mary. Now, if you don't know what the Queen Mary is, it's a notorious haunted ship. I don't remember the intricacies of what made the ship haunted. I know that there's certain events in which happened, and then people died or so on like that, and now it's haunted. Now my dad and I, I'm filming like a little vlog thing, and we hop on a tour of the Queen Mary. But my dad, he's a bad influence. So we're in the back of the tour. We see a doorway that goes down to like the engine room or whatnot, like down in the depths of the boat with all the mechanical stuff and pipes and all that. And we're alone, just wandering in the Queen Mary with no tour, no directions, nothing like that. And that really just encapsulates my dad, because you're supposed to stick with the tour, but my dad's like a rebel. He's still like his teenage self, and he's like, you know what, screw that. We're gonna go do our own thing. That was just special. You know what, guys, I think I'm gonna end it there. I had a pretty good time talking to you, sharing these memories, and making sure that, I never forget them. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy, drop a comment if you are enjoying this as well, and don't forget to actually check out the merch. It's in the bottom bar there. We got some Spread Positivity merch. It's pretty cool. I like it. I have a hoodie that I have with the logo on my chest. It's super nice. I love that hoodie. I wear it all the time. It's actually in the dirty clothes pile right there because I wear it all the time. Got stickers, mugs, t-shirts in 3 different colorways, and then a hoodie in a nice colorway as well. Personally, I think that mug is freaking awesome. So do me a favor and support that, and you know what, help us try and get a studio. That's a goal of mine. I want this thing to be more and more professional. I like having a podcast. I like talking. I would love to have guests on, you know what I mean? Get to know their life story, talk about, certain topics with them. I think that would be awesome, but we really need like a professional studio to get there. I know it's going to be a grind, but that's a goal of mine, and I'm going to work hard to get that. So I think with that being said, it's going to be all. I thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.